Welcome back, guys, to another video. Race number one. Let's go. We are literally just less than 1 week away to the first Grand Prix, and literally I've waited so long for this. And would you leave Red Bull? Would you go and join either Aston Martin or Mercedes, or potentially someone else on the grid? If Red Bull produce a slow car for this year, 100% Max Verstappen will leave for the 2026 season. Bearing in mind there's a new regulations coming out, he will not want to be in a slow car for the next 2 years. He wants to win championship after championship, and then in 3 years' time he probably wants to go and retire before he's 30. Between Mercedes and Aston Martin. Obviously with Mercedes, it's rumoured they're going to have the better engine, and obviously it's a new regulation, so you'd want to jump on board similarly to what Lewis Hamilton did several years ago. At Aston Martin, you know, you've got Lance Stroll, who's willing to chuck absolute millions and millions around on the table to get who he wants. We've seen that with Adrian Newey, best engineers that's probably ever worked in the sport. He's paid more than some of the drivers. That's how important he is to the world of Formula One. And obviously Max worked with him previously many years before. So would that relationship steer Max towards Aston Martin? Most likely, but how close can Toto get? And I think the truth will be in the pudding is, what car does Mercedes have this year? If Mercedes has a quick car, and it's shown that actually after a while their engineers could actually understand this generation of car and the aerodynamics, they can produce a winning car. Obviously next year's car will be completely different, more into the aerodynamics and movable front wing, movable rear wing like we see with the DRS. But ultimately, would your safe bet be then to go with Adrian Newey, seeing as this is the only engineer that can see airflow? Literally, he is the only engineer that can do this. The guy is an absolute wizard, and I wouldn't be surprised if Max joins up with Adrian Newey. So happy, literally less than a week to go now. So Sunday evening, the week before the Grand Prix. I don't even care that it's on at 4 a.m. Like, that does not bother me. 4 a.m. In the past, I'd be like, oh, 6 a.m. But even if it's 4 a.m., I don't care. I literally am that excited. I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's several teams in the mix. I think definitely McLaren are probably the favourites for this weekend. Obviously, based on testing, they seem the strongest. I know some teams are sandbagging. Mercedes look incredibly quick. Then obviously Ferrari had some tyre deg issues and some other issues that not really sure if they managed to wipe out yet. A lot of this is caused by their new front suspension, obviously. But if they can get to grips with their car, I think Ferrari will be in the mix. Unfortunately, Red Bull look like they're the ones that are actually lacking behind, similarly to how Mercedes were last year. So excited to actually get Formula One back and just chill out in front of the sofa for the whole weekend. Oh, that sounds bad. Does anyone else do that? Just literally spend all weekend just watching Formula One. Literally, this is the downfall that I'm not going to say you deserve, because I don't wish it on anyone, but after all of the things that happened, and I'm talking back to like Sandwich Gate, I'm talking to this work-wife relationship thing that he had going on with one of the ladies. Like, karma will always come around and bite you in the butt. And this is what's happened to Red Bull. It looks like, and I don't want to speak too soon, but if Red Bull do not produce a quick car, then this is purely just karma coming around and biting in the ass. You let Adrian Newey go, or I don't know if you let Adrian Newey go, rather than the fact that he literally just didn't want to be there anymore. He literally wanted to get away. That's how bad things were. So I think that's a telling sign. But ultimately, what will Christian do now? Obviously, yeah, he's got Liam Lawson. They're almost like threatening Yuki Tsunoda that obviously they're losing the Red Bull Honda partnership and they're going with Ford and Red Bull powertrains, etc. But it's almost like they don't want Yuki to be part of the team anymore. You've got Liam Lawson. Who else do you have? Where is your next champion? Is it? I don't know. Would it be George Russell? Where does George Russell fit in all of this? Because if obviously, and it's very clear that Toto Wolff now wants Max Verstappen. And he's mentioned it in his Drive to Survive. I didn't speak to Max because Lewis didn't want me to. But now that is over. So that was a really bad Toto Wolff impression. But ultimately, Lewis and Toto had some sort of partnership where Toto wouldn't speak to Max while Lewis was still with the team. That's now obviously void because Lewis is living his best life at Ferrari. So Toto Wolff is desperate to get Max on the team. And if he gets Max on the team, he's not going to replace Kimi. Like, George is literally the only driver. Well, he's not the only driver, but George just still doesn't have a contract yet for 2026. Only because of this one reason, that Toto Wolff wants to try and get Max Verstappen. So George is going to feel the pressure this year, and we've seen it a few times. George does seem to crack under pressure. Literally a week to go till the Formula One is here, and I can't wait. I literally can't wait. I don't care that it's 4 a.m. in the morning.